We are the Crawfords. We have 6 kids and are hiking the Appalachian Trail, a 2,200-mile hike from Georgia to Maine. We don't know if we can finish it, but we are doing it together. By the time you're watching this, Father's Day has come and gone, but I wanted to take a moment to talk about how important I believe fathers are. And then I'm going to share some things that I am appreciative of Ben, and then the kids are going to share some things too.
So the past 13 years since I was born, my dad has been a very important person to me. And on the trail, I felt like he was a very good leader to our family, and he knew what to do, and he was very smart in how to do things and how to do them right. All the decisions that he's made have led us all to here, and I feel like we would not be able to get this far on the trail without him. And my dad has been a very good teacher to me. He's taught me how to edit all the videos that you see now, and he's taught me how to play baseball and how to build fires and lots of other things.
My dad is really strong, and I think you see that a lot in the vlogs. One of the things that I think you don't see as often is how gentle he is. He's gentle with all of the kids in our family. He can see like the best thing you could be, and then he can help take you there. A couple days ago we were slack packing, but of course we couldn't slack pack Rainier, so we were all taking turns carrying him. And it was my dad's turn. We were going up this really steep hill. There was a lot of rocks. I was thinking, I don't think I could do that with a good attitude. It looked really hard. And I had like a slack pack, and it was still hard for me. And my dad was like, good job guys. He was encouraging everyone else, even though it like all he was doing was really hard. What I really like about my dad is that he is really good at giving us the choice of like a lot of things, and we are like a big part of the decisions, the big family decisions, and I really like that he does that. And another thing is I think he's really good at finding little ways to keep the family motivated, and that's really great. What I appreciate about my dad is, especially on this trail, is I appreciate his strength. I feel like I always knew he was strong, like for my whole life I've known he's like really strong, but on this trail I can really see it, and I really appreciate it. Physically, just for how long he carried Rainier. He carried him for like 900 miles, and I don't know how he did that, because after like 3 hours or something of carrying him, I feel like so done. But he had to carry him every day for that long. And mentally, like when we're having a hard time, and like we're all having a hard time, he's having a hard time, but he still like encourages us, and I can tell he's always thinking of like planning ahead, thinking of things to do to help keep us motivated when we all want to like stop early. Just like, come on, let's just stop. I know it's like 5 o'clock, but can we just stop? He's like, no, we can keep going, let's just keep going. And then we're all glad we did. When we're done, I feel like one of the things that he's grown in as long as I've known him is having a lot of strength, but being able to use that strength to not just get himself forward and having him being super strong, but to help push others to accomplish amazing things and to encourage us. That's something that I really want to learn from him and that I really appreciate about him. You can have a lot of strength, but if you don't know how to use it correctly, or if you just use it for yourself, it's not that great. And I think I've said this before, but I really appreciate his sense of humor. I hear like dad jokes aren't really supposed to be funny, but his jokes are pretty funny. And also, it seems like the harder things are, the more like, it might just be like a coping mechanism, but the more funny he gets and the more he laughs at things, yeah, the suckier it gets, the funnier things get. And I think that kind of rubs off on all of us, especially out here if we're just like walking in the rain, have a super long day, and like it seems to just be getting worse and worse. We are able to laugh, and he kind of sets the mood most of the time of just, yeah, this really sucks. Like, and then we'll make a bunch of jokes about it, and it just, I think that really helps. And there's been a lot of moments on this trail, and I think that's pretty cool. Some of my favorite times have been walking in the worst conditions and just joking around and have it be like a really cool moment between all of us.
My dad's really nice, and he thinks of really good ideas, and he helps us with a lot of things.
What do you think he's taught you the most?
He shows me how to put my socks on the top of my pack because I lost one. So, yeah, I learned how to do that. Well, before I couldn't stuff my sleeping bag because it was like too hard and stuff. And now he taught me, so that's really helpful. And now I know how to do it. I think he's really funny, and yeah.
I believe fatherhood is incredibly important. In our culture, a man's work or business, they're told that that is what you should put most of your energy and time into. And I believe that having children is a father's greatest achievement. And I think if you can take even a quarter of the energy that you put in your work into just spending time with your kids and getting to know them and them getting to know you, I think that you and your kids will greatly benefit from that. And I think you're going to see really amazing results from that. And I'm not even talking about anything like special. I think just being a little bit intentional with just spending more time with your kids and sharing your life with them is, I think, goes a long way. At the end of a father's life, I don't think you're gonna be wishing you spent more time on your work or your business. I think you're gonna be wishing maybe you spent more time with your kids, getting to know them. I think any investment you put in that area is gonna pay off. And I don't think you're gonna regret it. At the end of the day, dads, I believe all your kids really want is you. So however you can give yourself to your kids more, I think that's a win. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there watching. And remember that being a dad to someone is a really important job. One of the things I really appreciate about Ben on this trail is the scope of doing the Appalachian Trail with 6 kids is pretty big, and Ben is able to see and believe that we are able to do great things, big things. And I think also that this happens on an individual level with each of our kids. Ben is able to see the great things that each of our kids can do or become, and he really champions and challenges them to rise up to that level of how they were made. One example of this has been early on our trip, we gave the kids jobs. One of the kids has breakfast duty, that means all resupplying and making. One of the kids has lunch duty, one has dinner duty, one has setting up the tents, one has laundry. I really think that this is so good for them. And I think for me, naturally, I think, oh, that's too hard for them. An example of this was I was doing laundry for the first couple weeks of our trip. And Ben said, you know, why don't you have Eden do that? I actually think it would be a good thing for her to just like take charge of this and do it every time we get to a town. I agreed with him, but it was really hard to kind of first let go of this and then kind of put Eden, like giving her this task that I felt, oh, that's too much for her. But Ben like believes in our kids and can see like, no, actually this is going to be really good for them. And they might be complaining in the moment, but that doesn't really deter Ben like it does me. He can see further down the road how this will grow and shape them to become better. So babes, happy Father's Day. And I'm really thankful that you are the father of my children and that we have this opportunity to hike the trail with our 6 kids.
Happy Father's Day, Dada.
So happy Father's Day, Dada.